Ethan Reed stood at the edge of the sprawling alien refugee camp, his heart racing. He hadn't come to this desolate outpost expecting to find anything but sadness and despair. Yet here he was, holding a squirming bundle wrapped in a coarse blanket, staring into the bulbous, mismatched eyes of an infant alien, an infant so grotesque by human standards that even the other aliens avoided looking at it. And somehow, in that moment, Ethan knew his life would never be the same. The year was 2238. Humanity had become a key player in the sprawling galactic alliance known as the Concord. Planets of every shape and size were inhabited by beings so diverse that they made Earth's biodiversity look tame by comparison. Yet, despite all the progress, war and tragedy were constants. Ethan, a former rescue pilot turned humanitarian worker, had volunteered for an assignment on the war-torn planet Zinthra, a desolate wasteland ravaged by the brutal war between the ruthless HFY Empire and the fragile native ZYN. Ethan had been delivering supplies when he stumbled upon the infant. He found it lying in the rubble of a bombed-out shelter, its tiny, frail form barely clinging to life. The creature's skin was a mottled gray-green, its limbs disproportionately long, and its eyes. One was milky white, the other an unnerving shade of violet that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light. The alien's cries were a haunting, otherworldly wail, echoing across the ruins. "Leave it," a grizzled alien medic muttered. "That one, it's cursed. Marked by the HFY. No one will take it." Ethan's jaw tightened. He'd seen enough death and despair. He wasn't about to let an innocent life be snuffed out just because it didn't fit someone's standards of beauty. "Then I will," he said firmly, cradling the baby closer. The bureaucratic nightmare of adopting an alien child nearly broke Ethan. The Concord's rules were labyrinthine, and every official seemed to invent new obstacles. But Ethan's determination never wavered. He named the child Lyra, after the constellation that had guided him on countless night missions. Back on Earth, reactions were mixed. Ethan's sister, Mira, was supportive but skeptical. "You're not exactly dad material," she teased, though her smile was warm. "And are you ready for the stares? The questions? The judgment?" Ethan's response was simple: "If I'm not, who will be?" Lyra's early years were challenging. Human doctors struggled to understand her physiology, and alien specialists were rare on Earth. Her diet, temperature needs, and sleep patterns were unlike anything Ethan had dealt with before. Then there was the bullying. Children pointed and whispered. Adults stared openly. Once, at a park, a mother hurried her child away, muttering, "Monsters shouldn't be allowed here." Ethan knelt down to Lyra's level, wiping her tears. "You're not a monster, Lyra. You're my daughter. And anyone who can't see how special you are isn't worth your time." As Lyra grew, it became clear she was no ordinary child. Her violet eye, the one everyone thought was deformed, began to emit a faint, rhythmic pulse. It wasn't just a glow, it was a pattern, like a code. One day, while tinkering in Ethan's workshop, Lyra reached out and touched a broken drone. Her eye pulsed, and the drone. It came to life. Ethan watched in awe as the drone hovered, its lights flickering in perfect harmony with Lyra's eye. "Dad," she said, her voice trembling, "I think I can fix things." News of Lyra's abilities spread quickly. Scientists, politicians, and even military leaders sought to study her. But Ethan was fiercely protective. "She's not a lab rat," he growled during one particularly heated encounter. "She's a child." Then came the day Lyra's power saved thousands. A Concorde transport ship carrying refugees malfunctioned mid-flight, its engines failing. Lyra, barely 10 years old, insisted she could help. Against Ethan's protests, she boarded the ship and reached the main control panel. Her eye pulsed faster than ever, and within moments, the engines roared back to life. When the ship landed safely, the refugees erupted into cheers. Lyra had become a hero. By the time Lyra turned 18, she was a symbol of hope across the galaxy. Her unique abilities, combined with her compassion and resilience, inspired countless others to embrace differences and fight for unity. As for Ethan, he couldn't have been prouder. "Dad," Lyra said one evening as they watched the twin suns set over a distant colony, "why did you take me in? Even when everyone else said I wasn't worth it?" Ethan smiled, his eyes misty. "Because, Lyra, I didn't see an ugly alien baby. I saw my daughter." Ethan and Lyra's story became a beacon, a reminder that love and courage could transcend even the vastness of space. And in a galaxy teeming with life, it was a human simple act of compassion that changed everything.